Hi guys, welcome to today's podcast. Today I have your colorful Esty, the amazing and beautiful Macy, FaceByMace on Instagram, as everybody knows her. Super excited to have you on and just talk all things and hear about your business. But the first thing I want to hear is how did FaceByMace start? What is the reasoning behind your name?
That's a loaded question. That is a good question. So it all started in esthetician school a long time ago. So when I started esthetician school, I knew that the second that I started my Instagram, that was going to be it. I had to be consistent. This was my business. And so when I chose my name and I created it, I was like, I want something with a nice ring to it. It rolls off the tongue. Maybe there's a little bit of room for growth. If I'm going to slap it on a label, put it on some apparel, have it on a building, it won't be weird. And I was like, Skin by Macy, it doesn't hit. Like it's not hitting the mark. And then I was thinking about it actually for several weeks. There was a lot of intention behind it. And then one day it just came to me and I was like, FaceByMace.
Oh my gosh.
But some loser already took the FaceByMace. I had to do a stupid period in between the B and the Y.
Oh my gosh. One day you're going to get your name. Your
I
full
actually did
username.
trademark my name.
Heck yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Wait, it's such a good name. It rings and everything about your branding is amazing. How
Thank you.
did you you definitely bring a different feel to the space with all of your colorful graphics and everything. What inspired that?
Well, okay, believe it or not, back to SD school when I chose that name, FaceByMace, and I started my Instagram, I actually went neutral because that's what everyone and their dog was doing. I was like, I didn't really know the importance of having a brand as an esthetician. I feel like that wasn't really a thing until recently, which mind you, I only went to esthetician school in 2021. I feel like I'm still pretty new to this industry, but
Doesn't seem like it.
Thank you. I feel like I've lived a million lives in the past 3 years. But yeah, so when I was in esthetician school, I was neutral just because that's what was comfortable. That's what was trendy. And I just thought that was the only way to do it. And I worked for a med spa right out of school and I still had that neutral coloring at the time. And then when I opened up my own business, I'm thinking of how I want to decorate my room. It's like neon green sign, hot pink blanket, checkered rug, like all this crazy trippy stuff. And I'm like, I can't mesh a neutral Instagram with like a neon sign. Like there's no way. And so I was like, I'm just gonna do a full 180. There was no transition. It was like one day she's brown and neutral. And then the next day it's like neon green, rainbow, guns a-blazing. Like I say that rainbow's a neutral. As you can tell, I'm like head to toe in rainbow. And this is always how I've been. It's just like healing your inner child, like plur and rave culture. I've loved it my whole life. And so I just like leaned into that and here we are.
Yeah. I mean, I love your branding. It's so, and again, before you, I had never seen anything like it in this space. You definitely brought that to the space, which I commend you for. It's so cool to see. And just all of the other estheticians that you are inspiring along the way. I know that you do a lot of branding and consult calls. Do you do a lot of those on a regular basis?
Yeah, and the funny thing is it happened organically. So a lot of what has gone on in my journey is a lot of the time I didn't want it to happen and it's just organically happened because that is how it's meant to be.
Yeah.
So like I didn't want to go solo actually when I started working for someone. I was like, I'm great clocking in, clocking out, not worrying about overhead. Like that sounds great. Realized a month in, I'm like, I freaking hate this. Like I need to be my own boss. So went on my own. Then when I went on my own, I think in my brain, like I have to be doing a million clients a day in person when really my success lied virtually. I feel like I've always really connected with my virtual audience and stuff like that. And estheticians have always really appreciated my education, just free education all the time. And so when I rebranded myself and I went for that crazy neon rainbowness, people are like, I kind of want to learn your ways. Like show me the FaceByMace spice. And I was like, wait, I think I could like get paid to do this. Like I think I could get paid to consult like other people. And so I literally just started being like, let's book a call. And I get so booked out now months out in advance. And I've helped over 600 estheticians now, which is super cool.
Oh my gosh. That's what a milestone. That's amazing.
In a year I've helped. Wow. So I do 1 or 2 consults a day. I still want to like give myself time to work on my social media.
Of course.
And like in-person clients, I do a ton of stuff behind the scenes. So it's like finding a good balance between all of it.
Yeah. No, you are the social media queen. I mean,
Thank you.
I look up to you for that because you are so good. You're so consistent. I mean, your stories, I'm always like, what's next? How do you keep
story
people...
spam's real.
No, it's crazy. I mean,
so
I
bad.
love it. You know, it's something that I look up to you for. What
Thank
would
you
you say? Like, how do you just do, like, how do stories come so naturally for you? Like, what would you give somebody advice to?
Well, my subscribers know this. Everything is content. So you can make content out of anything. I could take a picture of my outfit. I could take a picture of my leopard shoes. My phone case is super fun. Let me get a selfie real quick. I got a drink over there. Maybe I'll take a picture of my drink. So my brain is constantly thinking that way, where it's like, my life doesn't have to be glamorous or elaborate, and it doesn't have to be perfectly cinematic all the time. It's romanticizing those little things that make each day different and special because, yeah, my days are quite redundant. It's I go to the gym, I get ready for the day, I work, I go home, make dinner, and hang out with my family. But, like, maybe I got a Starbucks drink that day that I want to romanticize, or I listened to your podcast on the way to work, or, you know, and it's like sharing those little special moments. And my goal with my Instagram is to bring just joy to my audience. Like, there's so much crap going on all the time. I'm like, this is like your little Delulu escape. To welcome to my rave cave, my like trippy land. You get it on Instagram, you get it in person.
I love it.
You get it with my aura.
Totally.
Like all the things. So I kind of just built that habit where I ingrained it in my brain when I started my Instagram. Like, the number one thing that you need to be successful with social media, Instagram, all the things, is consistency. Everyone says it. They all say it for a reason. It's showing up no matter what. Every single day, no matter how busy you are, no matter how dead you are showing up no matter what, because you owe it to yourself, you owe it to your business, and you owe it to your audience. And it's paid off so much for me. So habit, and then just everything's content, I feel like is what helps with stories a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I know that us, you know, as, you know, human beings, I mean, I struggle with that. I overthink everything, and I think that's something that you need to get over. I've realized is stop overthinking your post and just post it. And something that I love about you is that you are so authentic. Like, the first time this is my first time meeting you, and I feel like I know you. I'm like, I've met this girl already. Like, it's so insane. I mean, you really do showcase the, you know, what you being authentic and showing your true self on Instagram. And I mean, again, if you guys have not seen, you know, FaceByMace's Instagram, take some notes because you will learn a lot. I mean, so much free education, like you said. I know that you started at a med spa and then you went solo. How long was the transition? How long did you work at a med spa for?
It was like a fever dream. I was barely there, honestly. So I was there 4 months total. So I graduated esthetician school, and it worked out really great because, again, the value of social media, I got jobs handed to me because I had my Instagram. I never interviewed at a single spa. It was wherever you want to work, you got the job because people were so impressed by my Instagram and stuff like that. And so it was like a pen pal of mine. She hired me and I was her first esthetician. She was really young, starting out with her med spa. There was just a lot of wishy-washy things. And I've learned I'm just not a force to be reckoned with. Like, I hate being told what to do. I do, honestly, I get in like, I don't have like drama with people, but just like little tiffs where it's like I'm not afraid to voice my opinion and how I feel about something. So even if I am an employee of like a med spa, like I want to give my 2 cents as well. And we would butt heads a little bit. And so I realized I'm like, I just don't think that this is like where I'm meant to be and where I'm meant to thrive. And so one thing after another, I realized, okay, I'm going to go solo. I got this social media. We'll just rely on that and hope that it works out. Like, it's just like the type of thing where it's like, do I have full books? No, I'm just going to do it and hope that it works out. And so I did it, and I'm never looking back.
Yeah,
ever.
You're killing it. I mean, to see your growth has been so fun to watch.
Thank you.
I mean, everything you're saying is so inspiring. So for you, you said that you basically got jobs handed to you. What was your Instagram looking like? Did you, for an esthetician, let's say they're in school right now, did you niche down on certain services, or did you just post everything? Did you have still that aesthetically pleasing feed? What was it that drew, you know, people to want to hire you, do you think?
I posted everything in school. Here's the thing. We're always told niche. But like, why are you expected to niche when you're learning everything at once? Like,
exactly.
I went to school wanting to be a microneedling queen, and then I never did microneedling in school. People always went to me for hydrofacial. That's all I did. And people wanted consults. They wanted me to sell them skincare from school. I mean, like, I had a consistent clientele, and then went to a med spa, and I always got, it's so funny because I always got the lowest service cost every month because I was doing doing consults like crazy. And the consults are like cheaper than like a service, you know? And then my sales were like through the roof. Every month I got top sales. So I'm just really big on like the skincare products and the hydrofacial. And I niched it down eventually after that. Like I knew I wanted to do hydrofacial consults when I graduated. And then I niched even further from that, where it's like I was able to find my virtual placing in this industry.
Yeah.
So you're going to figure it out as you evolve and grow and stuff like that. But in school, just have fun with it and post everything, because it shows your growth. And again, it's your portfolio when you're in school. That way, I mean, if you do get hired at a day spa, they see that you can offer a good relaxing facial massage, but you also do results driven too, in case you get hired at a med spa. It's like kind of covering all of your bases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
that's kind of a long-winded
No,
answer.
I love that. So for consult calls, and it sounds like you found your niche, you know, virtual, a lot of online sales. What would you say is majority of what does your week look like? Do you take a lot of branding consults? Like, I mean, you said you take 2 a day. So how often are you in person? What would you say is like your thing when you are your day-to-day week?
My thing is an e-commerce website, online sales, social media stuff. That is my thing. I would say 90% of my business is virtual, and the 10% of it is facials and treatments and stuff like that. So I really only do hydrofacial. That's really the only service that I offer. I do have BioRepeal. I have Acne Bootcamp, but like I never get that booked, and I don't really advertise it that much.
Yeah.
I just want to have that accessible because I do love treating acne. But like hydrofacial, I literally have it on my license plate. It says best hydrofacial in Utah.
Oh, I love
so I'm giving
that.
you a customized, luxurious experience, all the modalities, all the things. And I take probably 5 clients a week.
Yeah, that's
like
amazing.
None. So
Yeah.
I don't do a lot of in-person stuff, but each one of my clients, I treat them like gold. They're running out the door buying a full, 10-step regimen. That's a requirement with all my clients. So I'm very picky with who's coming in my treatment room.
Exactly.
And then the rest of the time I'm, I don't know, working out, traveling, shipping out orders, subscription, all the things.
I love that. And it sounds like the people that you take, I mean, you kill it with sales. So if you have 5 people a week, that's a ton of revenue for you, I'm sure. And I love that you, even yourself in your business, you're the hydrofacial queen. Like that is so cool and inspiring. I love that. And that's something that I admire about you. Now for the virtual consults, I would say like for the Instagram sales, like what would you say? I know that you post a lot about your everyday. You post a lot of links, affiliates. I love to see it. Do you feel like that is a majority of your income? Like when you're doing your sales, like how do you get so good at it?
I would die without online links and product sales, honestly. Like, seriously, because I had so many freaking cancellations this past month. Like, I was only getting cancellations and no new bookings. And it's so easy to get in your head about that, where you're like, what is going on? Like, I'm putting in all this work, and like, I've had my business for over a year, and there's cancellations going on like crazy and blah, blah, blah. And then I see all the orders coming in every day, and I'm like, I'm fine. It's like success looks different for everyone.
Exactly.
Like, I'm doing just fine, but it's like easy to like kind of overthink about it or whatever. Remind me what the question was. I literally am like so ADHD.
You're totally fine. I know we covered a lot so far. My question was for online sales, how do you get so good at it?
Oh, okay. Practice and owning it and like embracing the cringe. Cause I feel like so many people are like, I don't want to talk about a product or show me using a product because it's so cringy. And I'm like, who freaking cares? There's like, speaking of being cheesy and cringy, there's a quote that I love, and it's, people are going to judge you no matter what, so you might as well do what you love and live your best life, because you're never going to win. You're either going to do too much, too little. You're going to be really annoying or really timid. It's like, not everyone's going to love you, but you're going to find your people, you're going to find your audience, and that's what matters. So I embrace the cringe is what I do. And I am not afraid to post links and post products. I feel like estheticians in their brain, for some reason, and even I catch myself thinking this way. It's like, I don't want to be snaky. I don't want to be a car salesman. And I'm like, dude, you're just giving people the solution. You use the products yourself. You know they're going to work for this specific concern. You're doing your job. And it's like, sometimes I tell myself, if I don't post this, I'm gatekeeping. Like I'm gatekeeping something that can benefit someone. And so I just post it, and I'm like, worst comes to worst, if they hate it, it's gone in 24 hours because it's on the story.
And I know that you post a lot. So your stories, which I love, I wish I could be you.
Well, you do a lot more like in person, and like this stuff behind the scenes is so much work for you too.
And you're so right. It does look different for everybody. That's why I love hearing your perspective. So for your stories, since I mean, I would think that because you are so, it's like watching a story, like a live
like a
vlog.
Yes.
Like I would imagine your story views and your interactions are so much higher than mine when I post like 2 posts, you know? So do you feel that when you post as much that your stories get less reach? Because that's something like I feel like if I post too much, I feel like each post it's like less and less. And I'm like, come on, guys, like keep it with it. The first one got, you know, a high number of views, you know? So I was just curious because you post way more than me.
Okay, guys, if you love my colorful vibe, I have news for you. I created some custom vids with my girl Victoria over here. It's going to be all the trippy psychedelic vibes, hydrofacial, bio repeal, and CO2 lift content and everything in between. If you're needing content for your colorful Instagrams yourselves, I have the content for you and I'm so excited.
So if you want access to this beautiful, colorful stock footage, make sure you click the link below. It will be available for purchase right there.
Well, the Instagram algorithm is so dumb. Like, I know that I mentor SDs of like, this is how to get more reach and how to get more followers and grow. And it's kind of by just doing your thing and like hoping that it clicks. Yeah. Like for me, I get the same thing where it's like if I'm posting 30 stories a day, which typically that's what my day looks like, every single story, yes, the view goes down a little bit, but I honestly don't look at my views day to day. I just post what I want and I don't worry about it because if you're worrying about the algorithm, which is a game you're never going to win because it's ever changing, you're never going to post anything because we're already all perfectionists striving for perfection. We don't like this post. Our face looks ugly. We look dumb, whatever it is. And we don't want to post it because of that. If you're adding the algorithm on top of that, you're screwed.
I know.
So I don't care and I don't look at it. Yeah. And people tell me all the time, you know what keeps me going is people tell me like, you brighten my day so much. Like I look forward to watching your talking videos while I'm doing my skincare or like, you know, I'm going through a really rough time and like you give me an escape. That's my why. And I get messages like that every day. So it's like, sure, maybe my whole, 15,000 followers won't like it or watch it, but like at least one person's gaining value from it.
Exactly. No, and that's so true. So for you, I mean, I think that's a really cool point. Like that inspires me to post more because for me, I'm very intentional with my stories. I will post my first story will be like super planned. I'm like, okay, this is how I want to get maximum reach. And then my second story, I'll kind of get some more freedom with it, but like I'm very intentional because I don't just post whatever. So I love your perspective on that because you're so right. You can't just be overthinking and overanalyzing it. I mean, people do. I mean, that's why stories are a thing. People want to feel the real you and they want to feel like they can experience life with you in a sense. So,
and I think like a way to look at it is what do you enjoy as a consumer? So what I've noticed is of course I'm posting the business side of book here, buy this, do that. I'm posting those things because that's my job. But the stories that are getting a response are the ones of me talking about the cat litter that I got from my cat at Target. Or like, this is my haul from this boutique local, or this is what I'm eating for lunch. And people will respond, that looks so good. Where's that at? Or what glitter are you wearing on your eyes? People are interacting in that way and it's building a connection. And so that's why I tell pretty much all my mentees with stories, at least, you can kind of be more fun with it and not be as intentional because it's temporary. I usually will say a ratio of 50-50. So 50% lifestyle, 50% business, which I know for everyone that's going to look different. Like for some people, they want their page to be more business focused and that's fine. But I think like for me, my goal and my target audience is different than other people where I just want everyone to feel like a homie. And it's like exactly what you said earlier. We're like, you know me before you know me. It's like, you talk the exact same that you do on your stories. You look the same. It's like, it's all the same. And it's because I'm just authentically myself day in and day out.
No, and you have a huge esthetician community. Like, would you say your Instagram is majority of estheticians at this point as you've grown a following?
Yeah, I would say so, which I know can be bad in some cases when you're wanting it to translate to in-person clients. But for me, it's actually worked out a lot because I just started an Instagram subscription. Crap, I think it's been like 5 months already, which is insane.
Wow.
And it's a subscription strictly for estheticians where they can subscribe and I tell them, this is how you make this Canva post. This is how you bring on this product line. These are brands that maybe aren't as they don't care about the esthetician compared to this one, or like, this is how I got started with my room and these are my consumables, like things like that you need you need those questions answered. Like when you're solo, it can be really isolating and you need someone to confide in. And so my subscription is that. Yeah. And my esthetician following has helped a ton with getting, you know, people for my subscription, people for consults. And believe it or not, a lot of my orders, I would say like 50% are estheticians.
Wow. That's
like product
so
orders.
Cool. That's amazing. I mean, it sounds like you found your market, and there's nothing wrong with that, because you may not, like, you may have an esthetician community, but that's your niche, you know? I mean, I see your page and I'm like, oh my gosh, she has such a strong esthetician community. And I think that's really important. And again, it looks different for everybody. So I love that for you.
Thank you. How would you say your community, like, what does your community look like, your ideal audience on your Instagram?
Honestly, I feel like a lot of people follow me for my cinematic videos and just the editing. I do feel like I have a lot of support from estheticians and community, like where we talk to each other on Instagram. But yeah, I would say it's like 50-50. I mean, now that my Instagram has grown and it's across the world now, I would say that, you know, I still get bookings of people coming in because I am showcasing a lot of my services, and people are like, oh wow, that looks relaxing. Oh wow, I want that hydrofacial. So I still get a lot of people coming in from Instagram, but I do also have like a bigger esthetician community, like through DMs, and just people through my Patreon now. You know, a lot of people have, you know, subscribed to my Patreon account, and that's just been so cool to help other businesses and other estheticians, because I felt like for so long I had this platform and I wasn't doing anything with it, because again, I was overthinking of the perfect platform. It has to be perfect. Instead of just doing it and providing that value, because people want to know, like, what's the back end of, you know, the business side. And so that's been really cool to see as far as community goes.
I love that, because I have recommended you so many times in my consults, because I feel like, you know, everyone in my branding consults, the first thing they say, I am not a social media queen. I don't know what I'm doing. Everyone says that. And I'm like, the goal is to make you a social media queen, and it's working smarter, not harder, because honestly, I don't know what the heck I'm doing half the time either. So a lot of times, like, their struggle is I can't get content because I'm so busy and booked back to back, or I don't know how to get the right angle, or the lighting looks really bad, or whatever it is. And I'm like, dude, if you don't want to worry about it at all, just pay this chick every month and get these videos, because she will solve the problem for you. And it's been so helpful to people, because 2024, like, Instagram's the new Google. Like, this is how people are finding you. Sure, you know, word of mouth, Google reviews, those ways are great ways to bring clients in as well. But like, Instagram, that's how people find me, and that's how people are finding a lot of estheticians.
No,
so
people do their research on Instagram. They're like, you know, hydrofacial, you know, you may be the first one that pops up. And I think that's something, it's so funny that you say that that's the first thing you hear is I'm not a social media queen. It's like, none of us were when we first started. Like, you have to figure out who you are, who are you as a provider? You know, like, you don't have to have it all down. And I think that's something that will come organically over time, and figuring out, like, who are you? Like, what do you want to showcase? What's the version of you that, like, brings joy on social media? And I think we all have this pressure of, like, everything has to, like, be perfect. I don't know what I'm doing. And practice really does make perfect. I mean, for you do a lot of, like, graphics, and I love your graphics. How long does it usually take me? How long does it usually take you?
You're like, I know it takes me a long time.
I know, right? For me, I'm like, I spend hours sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Well, sometimes you have to delegate. If you feel like it's going to take you forever, maybe you got to pay a little graphic 100%. Designer to help you. So I would say like 75% of my graphics I make myself. And it's just like, I'll get these ideas on the treadmill, or like in the shower, or I'm driving and I have to pull over on the side of the road, and I'll just throw up on this list of like a bunch of just random things in my Apple Notes. You should see my list right now. I probably have 50 ideas that I have in the works right now, because my brain does not shut off. Like, I get so many ideas. And the great thing about that is that I can rely on that when I'm in like a rut, or I'm not feeling as inspired or motivated, because you're not going to be motivated all the time. So sometimes you need a little bit of help. So that's a little hot girl hack for you guys. Apple Notes.
Yeah.
So, but
we always forget ADHD brains. Got to do it right then and there.
I'm convinced esthetician business owners are all ADHD.
Oh, like 100%.
There's no way that you can't be, because you have to do 50 things at once.
Yeah.
Like,
I always think I'm like, I have to write this down right now, or otherwise if I don't do it within 30 seconds, it's going to leave my brain. And it's like,
right over here.
I know. Or like, I don't know if you've ever had this, but like mid client, you have an idea and you're just like, oh my gosh, remember it.
Put them under LED and be like, please.
Hold on, relax. Let me go write this down really quick.
I know. But with the graphics, sometimes, Canva Pro is my BFF. So I love going on there, making some things. But then I'll get probably like 3 posts made a month by a graphic designer because I like really customized. I like the playful, cartoony graphics. Yes. Like not everyone, it's not going to be everyone's vibe. But for me, I'm like very out there with my designs and my ideas. And sometimes I can't draw for crap. So I need help.
Yeah. No, I know the really popular ones like Skincare Gem. Is that who you use?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love her work.
The best. I just got the cutest one sent to me today. Like all the Halloween content. I love Halloween so much.
Oh, I can't wait to see all your Halloween posts. Like keep them coming. I love them. Every year I'm like, I have a few people that I can't wait to see their posts. Yeah. You're definitely one of them.
Oh, they're crazy.
Yeah. So as far as your, I know that you're a diehard Jan Marini girly. I want to talk about that. How did you get started with Jan Marini? Like was it from personal experience of using it? I mean, I'm assuming that's what you use, but did you start with Jan Marini?
So it was one of the lines that I started with. Oh my gosh, guys, if you don't know what Jan Marini is, here's the thing. I was a skeptic about it at first because she's been in the industry for a long time. She's like an older lady. She has older products. And I'm all about like, what's the latest and greatest technology? What's like sexy packaging? Like there's just so much that like I want because I'm a trendy girly. Like I want what's hot. And I was using what's hot and my skin was not hot. So I was at a med spa and I was using a very popular line that a lot of estheticians get great results with. But for me,
what was it? I'm pretty sure
it was Skin Better.
Yeah, I don't treat people that has acne with Skin Better. So we're on the same page.
Because Skin Better, they don't have a benzoyl peroxide, and if you have acne, you need benzoyl peroxide. Point blank. Period.
100%.
But I had FOMO because I wanted to use a retinol, but you can't mix benzoyl peroxide with retinol, and so we actually at the med spa that I was at. We had a rep come in. She was with Jan Marini. Her name's Brittany, and she actually lives literally in this area. So
oh my gosh.
Go knock on your door.
Hello. We're talking about you right now.
I know. She lives literally in Daybreak, which is just down.
Wow.
I know. She's cute. But she came in and she saw my skin, was like, I have a product for you. And I was like, okay. And it was Duality. So Duality is like the gold star product from Jan Marini. And what it is it is a dual chamber product. So there's 2 pumps on it. One of them has an all-trans retinol, which just means it's a non-irritating retinol. And then ultra micronized benzoyl peroxide is the other one. And you mix them. So you mix retinol and benzoyl peroxide and you get the best of both worlds of anti-aging with retinol and acne fighting with BPO. You mix it, put it on your face, and dude, I'm not joking. Like, no cap. I was clear in like 3 days.
That's insane.
Like, my skin it needed it.
So finally something that works.
I know. And I was converted. I was like, I literally will use this until I'm 90. Yeah. Like you cannot rip this from my cold dead hands. So when I brought on my lines and had to choose what I wanted, Face Reality and Glymed were obvious because for my solo SDs, like any of you guys going solo, those 2 lines are super easy because you have no opening orders. It's pretty, Face Reality is like $800 to get the education, but it's like
they've changed. So
yeah,
but like it's still, I would say, it's like invest in Face Reality's education.
If you want to do acne, it's number 1.
Yes.
And then Glymed's just like if you want stragglers, like a good mist, some good moisturizers, and Glymed you can buy 3 of each SKU if you really want, and there's no pressure to like spend $3,000 in one sitting. So those 2 were obvious. And then I needed a third line that gave me like the vitamin C, the retinol, like what are my gaps that like need to be filled. And so Jan Marini, I was like, girl, I'm addicted to this line. I use it myself. Like no one really has this. I'm going to do something that no one really has done. Not saying that like no estheticians have it, but like no one really was talking about it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm doing it. And I did. And it's my number 1 selling line now.
Wow. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. No, so what would be the difference between, is it just from you personally using that product and now it's your ride or die? Have you incorporated any of Face Reality's benzoyl peroxide?
Yeah, so I actually was introduced to Face Reality back in 2018 when I was in college.
Wow. Okay.
And I had severe grade 4 cystic acne everywhere. It was out of control. And I had just started college. I'm stoked to like party it up and meet hot guys and stuff. And my skin looks like crap. And so I did find an esthetician there. I don't know. Do you know who LW Skincare is?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Are they here?
No, she's in Idaho, but she's pink hair. She's like the pink hair lady.
Ooh, I'll have to look her up.
Yeah, she's cute. So I found her when I was in college and she cleared me on Face Reality. And so I was very familiar with the acne meds. But as I got in my 20s, like I wanted a retinol too. Like you evolve, you change your routine and stuff. And so I still do have the acne meds available with my Face Reality, but a majority of my clients are buying Duality because they just love it.
Yeah, no. And I love that because 2 lines, that we like, for acne, you wanted the best of both worlds. And I think that Face Reality does have, they have theirs, but once you find your product, it's over.
And I'm like a big cherry picker, right?
Yes.
So like, and I think you and Rach even talked about this where she's like, I love Eminence, but not like only that line.
Yeah.
Like I want to have a variety of it. Like I'm the exact same way because not everyone's skin is different. Like people usually have more than one concern. If you only had one concern, how does it feel to be God's favorite?
By
the way,
literally.
So like you need a variety to give them that customized experience and regimen. And so crap, how many lines do I sell? I got to sell like 10. Wow. I sell so much.
And that's the beauty of cherry picking. I mean, again, you don't have to carry every single, like pick what resonates with you that you can sell. And I did touch base on this on a previous podcast, but like, I feel as estheticians, we see everything new and we feel like we have to have it. Like before that's why I try things before I freaking promote them. I want to hear your story.
Oh my gosh. So I sound like such a freaking hater. I just say what everyone's afraid to say. Okay.
We're all thinking it.
And you'll probably agree with me. If you've tried it, you're going to be like, oh, so Hydrinity came out.
Oh,
is it about the lip?
Yeah, I knew you were going to say this. Yes.
So Hydrinity comes out with this new lip product. It's $50. So obviously we're all Anfisa on gloss obsessed. We have high hopes for this product. Yeah. And so everyone is like, before they can even try it, has to buy these giant packets of 20 of them or whatever. And they all are like, this is trash, like on their close friends stories. And I go on my story and I'm like, this sucks.
Oh no.
And Hydrinity's like, it's because it's not a lip balm, it's this. I'm like, no, if it's $50, I'm not using a lip gloss on top of it. Like, no. So anyways, yeah, I don't even know where I was going with that, but just like cherry picking, like, but I do retail Hyacinth Mist and I love it from Hydrinity. So like, there's going to be products that you don't like and don't work for you. And maybe there's some Esties that love the Luxe Lip Hydrator. Who knows?
I know. But I haven't heard much though. I'm sad. I'm like, it's so sad when like such a good line comes out with like a sucky product. Oh my gosh. It's just so sad. It's unfortunate.
But you find that in every line.
Exactly.
Honestly, Jan Marini's I'm just telling you, Jan Marini's the only line that I've tried almost everything and I have not been let down by any of her products.
Wow.
Because like, Epicutis, I also am an Epicutis girly. That's number 2 for me. Lipid Serum's my top seller every month.
That's amazing.
But like, I don't retail Hivea cream because it has shea butter and I just get nervous about it for acne prone skin.
Totally.
So it's like, I am like their number 1 advocate, okay? But I don't need to be obsessed with every single product. It's okay.
Yeah, no, totally. And I mean, as far as Epicutis goes, that's your number 2, you would say? Oh my gosh.
So Jan Marini, Epicutis. I also, do you sell the Caravive Peptide Complex spray?
I don't. I did. I previously did out of meds, like when they retailed it, but no, I don't currently carry it. Would you suggest it?
Yes, especially for Esties. So Caravive, if you guys aren't familiar, it's a scalp treatment with Hydrofacial. So even though I do Hydrofacial, I do everything within Hydrofacial. So I do the Caravive scalp treatment, I do the perks, I do lymphatic, like I do all of it. I don't do the body just because I don't have a big space. So it's just not comfortable.
Totally.
But like if I had the space, I would. So like, yes, I do basically one thing, but I do all of it within it. So Caravive, it can be really hard to sell and advertise because it's a $400 scalp treatment. So it's really hard for people to justify spending that much money on their head when really they should be because your scalp ages 12 times faster than your face. So what it comes down to is I started educating my audience and I said, hey, the gateway drug to Caravive is your peptide complex spray. And I sell it like hotcakes.
Wow.
I don't even know. It's just like, I sell it like crazy, and people love it because they see the results, and they have those little bean sprouts growing out of their head, and they're like, why do I have so many baby hairs? I'm like, it's because it's working.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. I mean, I love that you say that, because CeraVe was definitely something that when I worked at a med spa, it was really hard for people to sell. So I think that's a really good point of carrying that for retail, because people can see that it works rather than they're like, why would I get a $400 scalp treatment? Did they recently change the pricing too?
Yeah, so before it was $4.95, now it's $3.95, because before you'd have to buy everything in like its own pack. So it was like a perk where it was all included, and now it's separate. You buy it a la carte, so it's actually made it a lot more affordable, which is great. But even then, it's hard to book a $3.95 scalp facial. So sometimes I'll do like little deals where you get like a signature for free with the CeraVe, and then it like gets them in the door, you know, that type of thing. But the spray, I also started retailing it because I'm so virtual. So like, a lot of people see me posting these phenomenal before and afters of CeraVe. They're like, well, I can't like go to you. I live in Alaska or something. And I'll be like, okay, buy the spray and you'll see how well it works. And they'll buy it for their husbands who are like prematurely balding, and everyone's using it in the family.
I love that you find a solution even when you can't sell to somebody. That's so cool. I mean, that's a really good point. Take notes, guys, because that's such a good little hack.
You should do it. You should sell it.
That's
People love
crazy. So HydraFacial is your bread and butter in person. It's the service that you love doing most. Would you say that your HydraFacial Genie Genie HydraFacial, sorry, is that your most popular service, you would say?
No, I would say, so I actually renamed all my facials, which is so fun. So my lava lamp HydraFacial is the most.
I love it. Oh my gosh.
I'm so tacky.
It's so you. I love it. It all connects together.
Yes, it does. So it's equivalent to the deluxe.
Okay.
It's just the 60-minute. You get the booster, the LED, and then the CO2 lift treatment. Everyone adds that on. So they'll get the lava lamp HydraFacial with the CO2 lift, and they're in and out in an hour, and it's a lovely ROI on my end. They're getting great results. It's for pretty much any skin type that you can think of. But the Genie HydraFacial, that's if the BioRepeal and HydraFacial combined.
Okay.
That's for people that want like a Mac Daddy treatment. They're like, I want everything on your menu at once. I'm like, I got you, girl. Let's do it.
I know. I love that you just include everything. You're like, this is what you get. Like with each tier, I'm so against people doing deluxe and like naming their HydraFacials deluxe and platinum.
I just changed it like last week.
Wait, really? I thought you already had names like that.
No, I had the Genie because I call my BioRepeal Genie in a bottle.
Okay.
And so like that's been my thing forever. But then I was like, why do I have this special Genie HydraFacial and my other ones don't sound as cool?
Yeah, no, that's so true.
Which I guess the Genie one, my brain was thinking I'll give it a cool name because I want that booked the most because it's the most expensive.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I gotta like make it all my brand, because you talk about this a lot in your podcast where it's all about the little details. It comes down to the teeniest things, down to what are your facials on your treatment menu named, or what emojis do you use in your captions? It truly does contribute to your brand overall. And so I'm glad I finally changed it, because I was so boring. Like, why did I do that? I don't know.
No, it's so true. It's like, oh my gosh, like make it exciting, make it your whole brand. I mean, nobody knows what, to be honest, like, and that's what I learned. I'm like, nobody knows what a deluxe HydraFacial is.
So right. What's yours named?
Mine's the Recharge and Glow HydraFacial Experience. And then my other one is Anti-Aging HydraFacial, because that's what I want people to book. I want anti-aging clients. Okay. And so it's just right to the T. And I use the word experiences in them because as you can see, my videos are very cinematic. I want them to feel that experience when they come in the door. So that's just my little touch on it. Yours are definitely more fun than mine. No. Mine are just like
you have your, because, and that's the thing is, like, in my consults, even people are like, you're so successful with the color. Maybe I need to do that too, because like, are people going to forget me because I'm neutral? And like, you're a neutral girly and you're killing it. And because you're all about like romanticizing the experience, and your videos are so well done. That is what your brand is. And you're not doing these crazy neon colors left and right, but you still are memorable. So that just goes to show, like, just by you doing you and doing what you love, you do create this brand for yourself.
Yeah. And it's so funny. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the kind words. it's so funny because my first Instagram I started, it was actually called Skin by Victoria, which is so boring.
I remember that, I think.
Yeah, it was such a boring name, but that's what people knew me as because I did a lot of educational talking head videos.
Okay.
And I did it all with a backdrop. My brand was all pink. It was so crazy. I know.
When was this?
This was like 4 years ago.
You still got a pink mic though, girl.
I know. I was like, I got to touch it in, bring it in somehow. It drives me crazy if there's like a pink on my page now. I don't know why. You know, you're like, you grow with your branding. Yes. I'm like, not the pink backdrop. Then at one point I did purple because the med spa that I worked at was purple. I hated it, but like, it just shows that like, I mean, I'm so neutral now, but it was never like that. There was like a whole evolution of Skin by Victoria to now Skin by You. And I just honestly I don't post on Skin by Victoria anymore, but I basically rebranded myself, and that's okay. Like, you're still figuring out your groove, what you want, and the things that you want to showcase and
4 years from now, you might be in a completely different place. Like for me, you know, I've always been that neon colorful SD queen, but like I add little details. So like this past year, I've really honed in on like that trippy, like rave culture vibe where like I go to raves and festivals all the time. It's something that I really, really love. And I just love that like psychedelic vibe. I don't do drugs, guys, but just like everyone's probably like, this chick does shrooms on the weekend. I promise I don't. I just love the color and like, it's just so intoxicating, like watching, I don't know, it's cool. And so I leveraged that more this year, like more of the patterns and stuff. Love it. And so it just goes to show like you're constantly growing. You're going to be taking things out, adding things in. You do the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, for you, since you've always, how long have you been like this colorful? Has it always been in you? And you're just like, I'm unleashing it.
Like you could see on my wrist, I got all my ice on my wrist. Like I was that kid that would just wear bracelets up my arm. And that now is like rave candy for me. And we're like, I will have the rave candy bracelets on my arm. And now I wear my bracelets every day. So like, I've always loved all the jewelry and I've loved the fun, vibrant colors. And like, I think it might be cheesy or tacky to some, but I don't care. I'm like, this is just me and take it or leave it.
Yeah.
You know?
I love that. I mean, again, you bring such a fun you just bring such a fun feel to the aesthetic space, and I love it. It's like you are you, and you're just so vibey in every way.
Because it's usually so zen. Like when you think aesthetics, it's like, and this is totally fine. I love the Kim K Zen vibes. My house, believe it or not, is neutral.
Yeah,
which is kind of crazy. Yeah, it's neutral.
That's weird to think
no color,
about. Oh
no color. Because my husband likes the modern, like chill vibe. So I gotta compromise.
You gotta live through it somehow, sister.
I just live 2 personalities. It's fine. But yeah, the color, it's always been in me, and it's so fun.
That's awesome. So my last question for you is going to be, if we are going to give one piece of advice to an esthetician, what would it be when you're first starting? Whether you're in aesthetic school or you're just starting out in your career, or maybe you're seasoned.
Oh my gosh, I could say so many things right now. So I'm going to be annoying and weird. So my family... I just think of like my childhood real quick. We're going to say a little story here. So my childhood house growing up, my mom always had this little sticker, and it was like above the door before we'd go to school, we would see it, and it said, be true to yourself. And that was something that was just like ingrained in my brain of like, be true to yourself, like be authentically you. It doesn't matter like what people think of you, because you're never going to win. Like I was saying earlier, a lot of people may not like you, and a lot of people are going to like you no matter what you do. So like, just live your best life. So like, I would say that for sure. And then also the perfectionism aspect, we kind of touched on a lot. So just trying to like own it and be yourself, and like not try to be perfect all the time. It's okay to be perfect in the treatment room when you want to slay the brows or like get the glow on the face. But when it comes to socials and just in-person stuff, I don't like leverage your quirks, I guess is where I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, no, I love that. That is such good advice. I mean, be you, be authentic. You're right. Not everyone's going to love you. Even if you're perfect, there's still people who aren't going to like you if you portray yourself that way.
What about you?
I would
say
give
your little wise words.
My advice. Yeah. I mean, my advice would also be, would be once you figure out what type of esthetician that you want to be, niche down in that. I know that you said in the beginning, you know, when we are, which I completely agree with, when we're starting out in aesthetics, we don't know what we want to be. But just keep practicing, keep figuring out that service that brings you joy, and niche down like Macy's doing with hydrofacial. She's a hydrofacial queen. So once you get that service that you want to niche down in, just
Tunnel vision, baby.
Yes. Post
and don't
the heck out
try
of
to
it.
do what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, exactly. Just post the heck out of it and promote that service. We are the jack of all trades as estheticians, but unfortunately, if we portray everything, people are going to be so overwhelmed. They don't know what to book. Keep posting that service that you want people to book. So that would be my little tip of advice. And try not to be perfect. Like Macy said, like me, I try to perfect everything. Yeah. Be weird, be colorful,
YOLO,
be authentic, be yourself. But yeah, thank you guys so much. This was such a fun episode. Thank you so much.
I know this was not 20 minutes, guys.
No, it wasn't.
Oh no.
Wait, how long was it?
An hour.
Oh my gosh, this is perfect. Well, you have been
we're just chatty Cathys.
No,
okay?
Exactly. This has been one of the most fun podcast I've ever done.
Yay.
Thank you so much for coming today. We're in Utah today, so we're going to be exploring your city. But as always, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.